Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we're going to give our praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. God will honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone and Ruel. Salvation to the Akim for Chinese truth, and sincerity to the four corners of the earth, to the few aqua to listen and learning, be done unto the husband. You know, a quick one here to the spirit and power Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai while in transit. As I see, customs fee double from January 1st. So I have a video here. We're gonna tap into that video. TikToker, go down into it basically, and we'll bring us some scriptures for edification's sake. Shalom.
Just a reminder, and for your info, so first it was the double increase on the traffic offences. Now, custom fees doubled from January 1st. The government has quietly doubled several custom fees effective January 1st, 2026 through a legal notice published on Christmas Day. So you all know what that means. Prices on items are going to go up. A lot of businesses are going to feel it. Small businesses are going to feel it. Look at this. So many small businesses going to feel this. Our business already deals with customs charges based on their moods. So shipping cost fluctuations are constant. When pricing goods for resale, customers expect to pay standard prices. So those shipping changes are carried by us business owners. Seem like us lower class struggling business owners need to close up shop and become slave wage employees. Right? Easy.
We know what that means. The customs is basically the goods being shipped from the other countries that are being imported to Trinidad in order for them to clear the items, the goods, whatever goods and whatnot that they purchase away to bring to Trinidad. In order for them to receive the goods, they're gonna have to pay double the amount to customs, all the different custom and brokerage services, right? So, which that would also extends to what the price changes. It would be a rise in our prices at whatsoever goods that they target, right? So instead of you paying $10 for that item, with the double increase and whatnot, the owners, the store owners and these things, the suppliers, the price would actually increase. By the time it reach on the market, you would see like a 30-40% increase in the goods, right? So that would leave you for what? And all these here is basically the hyperinflation that's in the system. We know it. They don't want to come out too much and say it, but hey, the hyperinflation, because the dollar itself is a fiat currency. We money being backed by the US dollar, and what's gonna be the outcome? Goods would be much more expensive while the dollar itself depreciates. So they would actually try to quell this thing by raising certain items and targeting certain areas. For instance, the traffic offense, right? A heavy penalty. They're looking to double all the prices on different offenses and seat belts and breaking at the law, right? So hey, we just have a few precepts to bring out, concerning that. The scripture here in 2nd Ezra 16.
This one here first. Alright, this is the book of 2nd Ezra. Go straight to the point. 2nd Ezra 6, verse 22. It says, "And suddenly shall the store places appear unsoon. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." It say, "And the trumpet shall give a song, which when every man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid."
Because they are going back into the bread being effective. It's gonna be more harder for you. Would have to pay much more money for goods soon. And hey, from 10 years ago, you actually see it has been a great rise in prices of goods.
Increase.
How many times there is flour and many different necessities food-wise, right? Rice, and next year now is there nothing different. prices gonna raise up more high, right? Prices is gonna go more high until what? Hey, who knows? Now war could break out and all the supply chain of food could stop.
Because
Yeah, go ahead.
because I just add to the brother what you saying so on point, because what you understand is with this war gonna bring a shutdown in importing and exporting goods to the Caribbean island. So what they're gonna go to, it's gonna lead to famine. You understand? Because if it have no as the scripture say, the sown places appear unsown, so basically it have no groceries, it have no food items on the shelf anymore. Basically all the stores gonna be looted out.
Yeah, because hey, if the goods stop come and there's no more production of goods, no more imports, what would be the case? The goods that currently on the shelf that wouldn't survive for 10 months. Within a matter of 2-3 months, all those goods would be consumed and it would be resulting into basically having nothing, right? Because that is why they always need to be stocking up on goods, because hey, there's a whole a good amount of people, a great number of people eating and purchasing and buying and these things. So the moment that supply chain stop, the storehouses, right, all the warehousing where the food, they would be forced to empty them out until there is nothing.
And even the heads, which is the heads are the heathen nations, because we know that the elites in all the heathen nations is basically like the Elamites or the Moabites. They're gonna keep stocks for themselves. They don't gonna pour all these stocks. They're gonna keep keep reserves for they and their family. You understand? Because basically they don't know that they're gonna have a panic gonna rise where everyone gonna be, stirring up in his spirit, because a lack of bread, and who son hungry, who daughter hungry. You understand? So the purchasing of food gonna be at a sky high before it have no food on the shelves. It don't even a tuna. You understand? Tuna gonna be like going back into the ancient times where dove's dung, was so expensive. You understand? People purchasing dove dung just to eat. You understand? It's like the video I see in Palestine where the man eating grass. Sit down on the sand and eating grass. And so you're gonna reach to the Caribbean island. Alright, it's the fish. You can fishing, but how far you gonna go if there's no gas? Because there's war going on the land. You didn't want to leave to go outside because it's dog fight, which is air combat with these fighter jets. You understand? That is submarines, that the boats we're fully armed. Wherever boat they see, they're gonna actually shoot them missiles at. So think about it. You feel this place is gonna be a walk in the park. This place is gonna turn up on a different level. You understand? And all these things lead into prophecy where the devil coming down with great rod known to have a short time. So all this way you're looking to bring is this chaos. You understand? So the land, you understand, will be in an uproar to bring his NWO, to bring his new world order. And that what Esau Edom seeking to bring forth. You understand? So let the customs, bring forth a high demand in food, or a high demand in clearing stocks. Basically clearing stocks in the ports. And what gonna happen is that people who can't clear the containers can be clear, like simple like the fishing industry, where we depend on net that coming in the countries from different countries, and if they can't even clear customs, how you think we could actually fishing? We can't fishing anymore if we can't even clear the expense of buying net. You understand? Or the company that purchased the net can't even clear customs by bringing in the containers. So think about it. Think about all the hell going on bring forth when these highs, basically these big stores that are bringing in the rice, the sugar, you understand, the peas. Think about it. If all these things, if all these things being multiplied on the land, on the island, what's gonna happen when you go in your normal store and you realize it's $150 a pack of rice, and when your salary for the whole 2 weeks is $150. So think about it, they're gonna have chaos. And what he was so-called white man looking to bring in the Caribbean island. Looking to bring that chaos so the place will turn up a notch. So he know when this place turn up, you know, you're gonna have a lot of deletions going on the land. So it's easier for him to bring his new order. It's easy for him to bring his MOTB. And we know Israel, they love to bow to the system. They love to, you know, go down to Egypt for help. But this time, the help they're gonna go down for, it's gonna pace them through. And when they pace them through, as it's in Revelation 16 and 2, they're going back into the MOTB, the CTDH, the ITDP. What's gonna happen to them? When they take that mark, the Lord is gonna make sores bust out on their skins. You understand? So let it go head first into Egypt and see if Egypt in set a trap for them. So all this right now is taking place is strategy from the beast man, which we know the so-called white man, the physical counterpart of Satan, which is Esau Edom. He is laying his snares, his traps. You understand? To catch these 2/3 and these other nations who gonna wake up and realize that, you know, Esau is fucking up, and then as the prophecy say that he gonna bring these other nations gonna bring destruction upon him with these ICBM missiles. So the more Esau do right now is the more he do for prophecy, the more he keep on bringing unrighteous decrees, he bringing more and more harder for you to eat or more harder for you to live by, is the more the people are gonna rebel, the more people are gonna uproar, and the more he gonna come with his unrighteous decrees until he come down with the hammer. It's basically deleting whoever it is who against his system. So right now we just see what's taking place from the 1st of January. We're gonna see they're gonna double, as Customs say, gonna double their fee. So hey, let's have your seat belt, you know, bucked on, and you know, enjoy the ride. To the men of the Lord, you know, hey, this is something where we speak about. This is something where we know. This is something where we see coming from afar off. So that way we ain't even eating up ourselves and fighting up through the spirit, because we know the place is heading to a crash. You understand? The whole system is heading to a crash. So this is a quick one through the spirit, a quick in transit while on the way to camp. But I just had something to say before you leave, before you crash out.
And because 2nd Esdras, chapter 16 and 17. Yeah. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. Because it's just an example. Look at Venezuela, for example. When you hear a account from a lot of them who come across here and they're working with us, and these things is food, the cost of food is very high. Yes, a lot. You know, the account is the lack of bread, the dollar worth nothing because of great hyperinflation. You know, they only able to eat like once for the day. You know, the working and the amount of money they're earning is basically just enough for them to eat, right? And that is just basically an example. It's the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars and power shall stand in fear. Because you've seen it, the vibration of war, it have even reached from quite on that side of the earth, even you know, even onto the Caribbean, right? It's saying the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of what? Evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, what famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. For all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be almost mindful of the scourges, because all of this is different judgments that the Lord bringing out upon the face of the earth, upon especially you Jakes, you heathens. Right? Because especially you Jakes who refuse and turning away from the Most High. You know? It say, but and the point here, behold, verse 21, victual shall be good cheap upon earth. Because here it had the times where goods were a lot cheap. When you listen to our fathers, our grandmothers, she would say 20 years ago, the amount of money she would spend, $100 on the amount of goods she would receive. Far more for now. You're spending $1,000 and the amount of goods you're receiving. It shows that the money it surely dropped its value, and the cost of goods have really heightened, right? And this is just the beginning. It say that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? Because that way it coming down to, because the Lord setting up this place so that Jacob's trouble. And within that, it is also it spoke about the famines, the lack of bread, the seditions among men. So all of these things is also a part of the prophecy. So little by little, it's coming in gradually until boom, it fully takes hold. Right? Until it fully takes hold. Another precept here. Because something else we have been noticing is plenty in the lack of jobs and these things, a lot of laid offs and these things in this kingdom. Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, it's in that day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. Little bit of work. The scripture even saying the Isaiah 19, there shall be no work for Egypt. Right? So imagine, and that is what's going on across at Venezuela, our northern kingdom brothers and sisters. Lack of work and the cost of living is very, very high. You know? So if you ain't able to work, you get no money. So how would you be able to purchase food? Right? Let's say, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Right? And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird. He shall rise up as the voice of a bird. Right? And all the daughters of music shall be brought low, because that brings a great mourning in the land. It's no rejoicing there anymore, because lack of bread in the land, you know. The people in a certain position, it's uncomfortable, and that is what the Lord is about to bring through this devil, right? Through this rulers that he will do wicked, right? Another precept here, and then there a cry at the fish gate. Zephaniah 1 and 10, and I'll end up for this. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. That hill is going back into the governmental structure, the system. The system is crashing gradually. And what? It bringing in that cry from the fish gate, the bread. The Lord breaking the staff the bread for the people. Right, so that is why things is getting more expensive. It's the cost of living being more high. And let's look on forward for next year, because hey, all the prophets saw was lamentation, mourning, and woe in this place. Right? You know, so hopefully this lesson was edifying. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakdash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Until the next Shalom.